One of my colleagues asked about attribution for AI-generated content, what faculty are doing on campus. Is that something that you've come across and how they should be faculty members when they create their own materials, if they have a AI-generated image or content, how they should credit that?
So most of the recommendations now just say to use an AI attribution rather than a citation. So if we go back like 3 years when this was first emerging, we had a lot of people say cite AI. Well, then everybody started arguing about whether citation was actually appropriate because a citation implies that somebody could go back to that source and verify it. And that's not quite how AI works. And
Right.
so, and a citation implies that it was AI's intellectual property. Well, it's not quite because without the human there doing the prompts and the human there guiding it, it wouldn't have produced it. So, what most of them are now saying is provide an AI attribution that says AI was used, and then you say which AI tools you're using in collaboration with, and then say what the person's role was. So, for example, I just was developing some content earlier. It was on AI literacy, and I was using Claude. My AI disclosure statement says something to the effect of the author collaboratively used Claude to help brainstorm content, to generate content outlines, to write up the information, and to source content material. The author was responsible for prompting, questioning, clarification, follow up, and accuracy of all information. And so your AI disclosure kind of will give the parameters of what you used it for and then what your role was in that. Now, because we're using it so widely, generally speaking, you're not seeing that on the bottom of every single page because it probably would be in our modern area. So if a faculty member is using it, for example, for an entire class, they might say up front in that class, whether that's on the syllabus or whether that's in an announcement, they would make that AI disclosure that would cover that entire class. Now, if it's something they're sharing outside of just their class, like maybe they made this really great image or it's a theory that they've developed in collaboration, then they might go ahead and provide an individual attribution for that. And so they would go ahead and say, this was made in collaboration with AI. Now, as you asked that question, though, just the other day I had somebody say, well, isn't that dumb that we're all making AI attributions when we use it all the time? He goes, I bet in 5 years we're not making AI attributions anymore. And I said, you might be right. But we're in the middle of the paradigm shift. And while we're in the middle of the paradigm shift, people are still uncomfortable and they still do want to know what was you, what was AI, how did you use it, what was your role, and who's ultimately responsible for this material. So I said, even if it is a paradigm shift, at the moment, the gold standard is to make an attribution.